Hollywood has seen some wild lawsuits, but this one? This one has people actually laughing behind closed doors. The host explains that Blake Lively recently made headlines by demanding a staggering $161 million in damages, and that's just the beginning. On top of that, she's also asking for triple punitive damages, bringing the total claim to a jaw-dropping $650 million. According to the host, the reaction inside Hollywood was instant and brutal. People were whispering, "Does she think she's Beyoncé?" It wasn't just the number that stunned everyone, it was the tone of entitlement behind it. Insiders told entertainment reporter Rob Shooter that the claim felt completely detached from reality. One studio executive bluntly said, "She's talented, sure. But $161 million? Blake's not pulling Marvel money. Ryan's the brand, not her." For years, Blake Lively has built an image of sophistication and control, the picture-perfect Hollywood mom with the flawless red carpet presence. But this lawsuit cracked that illusion wide open. Suddenly, people weren't talking about her as an A-lister. They were calling her mid-tier at best. But behind this astronomical lawsuit, there's something far more calculated, a PR strategy that might have just backfired spectacularly. When Hollywood turns on one of its own, it happens quietly, through whispers, group chats, and off-the-record quotes. And right now, those whispers are about Blake Lively. The host explains that since Blake filed her lawsuit, the reaction from industry insiders has been mostly disbelief and ridicule. The claim that she lost over $160 million in earnings after it ends with us didn't just raise eyebrows, it raised serious doubts about how she views her own career. One top agent told Shooter, even her biggest movie didn't gross that much. This feels more like ego than economics. A well-known producer added, "She's acting like a mogul when she's not one. She's mid-tier at best." And perhaps the harshest quote came from a rival executive who joked, "If Blake's really worth $161 million, then I'm the next Barbie." These aren't random internet critics. These are Hollywood insiders, people who've worked with her, who understand the economics of film deals, and who know that numbers like hers don't add up. The host adds that the backlash isn't just about money, it's about tone. Blake's lawsuit, framed as a fight for justice, is being seen as a power move, a way to reassert dominance after a public relations nightmare. But the mood in Hollywood has shifted. As one studio insider put it, she's not reading the room. The industry's tired of stars acting like victims when it's just business. And yet, what most people don't see is how much of this case is tied to influence, and how Blake and Ryan's power in Hollywood might be the reason mainstream outlets keep protecting her. In Hollywood, reputation is currency, and few couples have more of it than Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. But that power comes at a price. The host explains that Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's attorney, has repeatedly emphasized how Ryan and Blake's status in the industry shapes the media narrative. Together, they're a brand, and one that studios, advertisers, and gossip outlets are reluctant to challenge. As the host puts it, when your image sells perfume, fashion, and movie tickets, the press doesn't question you, they protect you. That's why, according to insiders, mainstream media outlets like TMZ have consistently framed coverage to favor Blake's side of the story, while Baldoni's perspective gets buried. Even false reports, like the one claiming Justin missed his appeal deadline, go unchecked, quietly edited instead of corrected. Meanwhile, the host notes, every time someone challenges Blake or Ryan, those people get smeared or silenced. Just ask photographer Rick Fedek, whose career allegedly imploded after a run-in with the couple. Hollywood doesn't just have an elite, it has gatekeepers. And Blake and Ryan, for years, have been sitting near the top of that list. But that influence may finally be slipping because as this case moves toward trial, people close to the situation say Blake's carefully crafted image might not survive public testimony. For over a year, the public has only heard one side of this story. That's about to change. At the end of the TMZ podcast, Brian Friedman dropped a quiet bombshell that Justin Baldoni's team is ready for trial, and for the first time, the world will hear his version of events. The host explains that this could completely flip the public narrative. So far, Blake's filings have dominated headlines, but once court proceedings begin, evidence, witnesses, and cross-examination will replace press releases and PR spin. And there's another key detail. Baldoni's legal team hasn't ruled out an appeal, but they can't move forward until the judge rules on Blake Lively's attorney's fees. The timing matters because the trial's outcome could determine whether the appeal even happens. Hollywood insiders are already speculating. If this trial exposes inconsistencies in Blake's story, it could permanently damage her credibility, both legally and professionally. Studios hate uncertainty, and right now, she's bringing plenty of it. The host ends on a note of cautious anticipation. For years, Blake Lively's been the golden girl, polished, untouchable, and PR perfect. But this trial could change everything. For the first time, her version of the truth will face a courtroom instead of a camera. Because when this trial begins, it won't just decide a legal case, it'll decide who Hollywood chooses to believe. In Hollywood, lawsuits are rarely just about the law, they're about image. And for Blake Lively, this one might be her biggest miscalculation yet. The host explains that while Blake's team positioned the lawsuit as a bold move, a stand for justice and reputation, many inside Hollywood see it as an ego-driven gamble. Instead of sympathy, she's getting skepticism. Instead of applause, she's facing quiet backlash. According to industry chatter, this lawsuit was supposed to restore control of the narrative after the backlash from It Ends With Us and the public disputes involving Justin Baldoni.
This record is sealed.
But the filing's aggressive tone, paired with that astronomical $650 million figure, made it look less like accountability and more like revenge. One longtime publicist told the host, if your client becomes the story, you've already lost.
The truth.
The host notes that public relations teams across Los Angeles are now watching this unfold as a textbook case of how not to handle crisis management. Instead of keeping quiet and regrouping, Blake's legal attack has reopened every controversy she tried to bury. And worse, Hollywood's power players are watching how she handles pressure. These are the people who control casting calls, brand deals, and endorsements. They don't care about courtroom drama, they care about stability. And as whispers spread through agencies and studios, one question is starting to circulate: is Blake Lively still bankable? For years, Blake Lively's image has been airtight, the fashionable star, the devoted wife, the Hollywood sweetheart. But behind that perfection, the cracks are showing. The host points out that this lawsuit has unintentionally exposed Blake's vulnerabilities, not her strength. The tone of entitlement, the huge dollar amount, the defensive messaging, it all clashes with the humble, relatable persona her team built for over a decade. Fans who once saw her as America's golden girl are now questioning her motives. The lawsuit's sheer size has triggered skepticism even among her supporters. Online, the comments have shifted from admiration to disbelief. Marketing experts tell the host that Blake's brand identity was built on likability, not power. But with this lawsuit, she's entering dangerous territory, where she looks less like the underdog and more like the aggressor. And the timing couldn't be worse. As one insider explained, Hollywood's tolerance for celebrity lawsuits is shrinking. It's not the early 2000s anymore, fans see through spin. The host emphasizes how fragile public opinion has become. One wrong move, one smug quote, one exaggerated claim, and years of brand building can collapse overnight. And this collapse may not just affect her, because when you're part of a power couple, your fall is never yours alone. When Blake Lively stumbles, Ryan Reynolds feels it too, because in Hollywood, their images are intertwined. The host explains that Ryan's reputation as Hollywood's nice guy and witty entrepreneur has helped shield both of them for years. He's the face of charm, the self-deprecating comedian, the family man, the genius marketer behind Aviation Gin and Mint Mobile. But insiders say this lawsuit is quietly casting a shadow over his brand too. Several PR experts told the host that the more Blake's legal aggression dominates headlines, the harder it becomes for Ryan to maintain his lighthearted image. When you build a brand around authenticity and humor, one analyst said, you can't afford to look disingenuous by association. The host notes that even within their inner circle, there's concern that Blake's strategy might be pushing too far, drawing unwanted attention to both of them. Sponsors and studios are cautious, not because Ryan's involved in the case directly, but because public sentiment can turn fast. And when perception shifts in Hollywood, it doesn't fade quietly, it echoes. And that echo is already being heard, as insiders warn that if the trial exposes even minor inconsistencies, both their reputations could take a hit that no amount of PR can fix. All of Hollywood is watching, not because they care about the money, but because this case could redefine how celebrity power works in the modern era. The host reflects that Blake Lively's lawsuit isn't just a legal dispute anymore, it's a public test of accountability. A moment where audiences decide whether to believe the image or the evidence. If she wins, it could reinforce the idea that A-list stars can still control their own stories through force and influence. But if she loses, or if the trial exposes contradictions, it could be the start of a very public unraveling. PR insiders are already preparing for both outcomes. One strategist told the host, if the evidence doesn't line up, the backlash will be brutal. People won't forgive being misled. The host sums it up like this. For years, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have been Hollywood's picture-perfect power couple, untouchable, unchallenged, and endlessly marketable. But power has a price. And in this case, the price may be everything they've built. Because once this trial begins, it won't just determine who's right or wrong, it'll decide whose truth survives in the court of public opinion. At the end of the day, this isn't just a story about money, it's a story about power, perception, and how fast both can vanish in Hollywood. The host takes a moment to reflect. Blake Lively's lawsuit, $161 million in claimed losses, ballooning to $650 million with punitive damages, has become something much bigger than a legal filing. It's a mirror showing the public what happens when celebrity control collides with accountability. For years, Blake and Ryan mastered the art of narrative. Every photo, every post, every red carpet appearance told a story of elegance, wit, and the perfect partnership. But this lawsuit shattered that illusion. Suddenly, the same people who once praised their polish are questioning their motives. In an industry obsessed with image, credibility is currency. And right now, that currency is slipping. As the host puts it, maybe Blake truly believes she's fighting for her name. Or maybe, just maybe, this was never about justice at all, but about control. Because here's the truth. When you start suing for hundreds of millions, you're not just fighting your opponent, you're fighting public perception. And that battle is one even Hollywood's best lawyers can't win alone. The camera would linger for a beat, tone steady, voice calm but sharp. So what do you think? Is Blake Lively standing up for herself? Or is this lawsuit the biggest overreach Hollywood's seen in years? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this one's just getting started. And once the trial begins, we'll finally see whose version of the truth holds up. Until then, stay sharp, stay skeptical, and remember, in Hollywood, the real drama always happens off camera.